I'm glad to be here voluntarily to testify, to help with the committee's work. I'll start with an opening statement in the hearing room. I hope my testimony is helpful to the important work of the committee to find justice for the victims. Thank you.
He seems so sincere and concerned, doesn't he? Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, moments before his closed-door hearings before Congress. Here are some of the most notable quotes from his opening statement. I never witnessed nor had any indication that Epstein engaged in ongoing criminal conduct. I never went to his island, his ranch, or his Florida home. I have never victimized anyone. Meeting with Epstein was a grave error in judgment. A judgment in error is putting it lightly. Gates says nothing happened. Criminally, that may be true. But to anyone else, it is creepy beyond words. But you know what else is not okay? The lack of transparency in all of this. Here's Tim Burchett on the Gates hearing itself.
Why was this a closed-door hearing?
I don't know, ma'am. That's above my pay grade. I'm big about transparency. I always just say let it be wide open. That seems to be something both parties agree on, and that's the way we go.
With us now, Jeffrey Epstein's former lawyer, Harvard professor emeritus of law, Alan Dershowitz. Good to see you, counselor. Was it smart for Gates to show up, you think?
Well, he had been so damaged in his reputation. He is a victim of what I call sexual McCarthyism or Epstein McCarthyism. Anybody who had any connection with Epstein is, they destroy their careers, they destroy their living. I understand why Bill Gates wanted to try to explain and clear his name. And, he said some things that helped him, and he said some things that probably didn't help him.
You rightly point out that being creepy effectively is not illegal, is that having an association with Epstein does not mean you committed a crime. Even being friends with him, even going to his island doesn't mean you committed any crimes. But this is what I think is most troubling, especially when it comes to Gates. 2006, Epstein arrested on soliciting prostitution charges. 2008, Epstein pleads guilty to a sex crime. 2009, released from jail. Epstein and Gates' relationship began in 2011. Bill Gates was one of the most staffed people in the world. He had a dozen-plus people personally in his office working around him. They would vet every single person he met with. He had Secret Service-like protection, maybe not presidential-like, but certainly cabinet member-level Secret Service-like protection. And yet, he decided to meet with somebody who had pled guilty to a sex crime involving minors. You say this is McCarthyism. I think that somebody can be held accountable just for that decision, right?
No, I don't think so. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts. One, paying for sex, prostitution, with a woman who was above the age of consent. And the other, paying for sex with a young girl who was 17 years old and 10 months, which would have been legal in New York. It would have been legal in maybe a third of the states. It was illegal in Florida. I can understand why people are saying, at that point, nobody knew very much more about Epstein. It was just that one charge. I'm surprised that Gates did associate with him. I cut off my association with him as soon as I finished representing him. I was his lawyer. I obviously had to associate with him.
Yep.
I didn't like him. And he didn't like me. He hated me. He, by the way, thought I did a terrible job in helping to get the so-called sweetheart deal, where he had to go to jail for 18 months and that
was the deal of the century, in every way, shape, and form. We now know that. But I'm sorry, you and I can disagree. I think that if someone has pleaded guilty to paying a woman under the age of 18 for sex, I would not want nothing to do with that human being, especially if you're somebody who has so much to lose as Bill Gates. But there you go. In Gates' opening, you disagree with me?
I agree with that. I think it showed bad judgment for him to associate with him. But by the way, as I say, it wouldn't have even been a crime in virtually every country in the world and in probably a third of the states. So, and people almost never go to jail for paying a prostitute who was 17 years and 10 months. Now, it turns out he did many, many worse things, but those were not made public at that point.
Right. This is Bill Gates' opening statement. Epstein was working to use information about my infidelities to pressure me to re-engage with him. He was unsuccessful in his effort, but it shows some of the ways he tried to leverage his interactions with me to further his agenda. I think it goes much deeper, right? This is the first time we have heard, at least I have, of statements by rich, important, powerful men that Epstein was using compromise.
That was surprising to me, too. I had never heard that. It doesn't, shock me. Epstein is a despicable person who'd done a lot of terrible things. But I had never heard that he had actually extorted or blackmailed anybody. The way I understand the statement was that it was subtle, that Epstein would say to him, I know things about you, I'll work with you on it. But clearly, Gates understood it as blackmail, and that was probably the way Epstein intended it. So again, it showed very poor judgment on the part of Gates to associate with somebody who would use the friendship in such an exploitive manner.
Do we know anybody else who, and maybe this is the quite literally billion-dollar question or the criminal question, do we know anybody else who Epstein, under the headline of, you never get caught on your first time, many ways, that Epstein was trying to use compromise on?
I don't. It wouldn't surprise me, but he'd have to know things about the person. What he knew about me, for example, is I love my wife. I never touched anybody improperly ever in my life, so he would never dream of using that against me. But I can't imagine that he didn't try to use it against people who confided in him their sins. Now, why would you confide in Jeffrey Epstein that you had committed adultery? It seems so bad judgment, so foolish. But I guess Bill Gates must have done that.
Wow. Phenomenal analysis. Alan Dershowitz, thank you. Great analysis. Appreciate you being with us.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.